today we'll be talking about the Hot Tuah podcast again. And this video is by Memeulous, and apparently it's getting worse. Why could it get worse? I mean, the first episode was absolute perfection. There was no flaws or anything. It was just absolutely just mwah, chef's kiss. Right? So, how could the second episode be worse? You know? But yeah, apparently it is getting worse. I don't know why, but we're going to find out in this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the madness. So let's go. I'm ready. Woohoo! This is going to be fun.
Hot Tuah 3, 4. Hot Tuah 3, 4.
Oh, you got me. You fucking got me.
The aliens coming down for some of that Hot Tuah.
Yeah.
I bet he's thinking about other women. Him. Should I ask her to Hot Tuah and spit on that thing?
I mean, it would help, yes.
Yes, you should, King. Yes, you should.
Oh, so good.
This goes on for 5.5 minutes, this video. It's just him reading out unfunny Hot Tuah memes and pitching up his voice. For 5.5 minutes.
Stephen Hot Tuah.
That's gotta be disrespectful. Stephen Hot Tuah.
Did I tell you I'm gonna leave old buddy out of this?
What the fuck is that image, though? Oh my god, it's so funny. It's so funny. I mean, of course, it's what Stephen Hawking is known for, you know? Spitting on that thing. Because you just know that he gave the best sloppy toppy you would ever have.
I'll tell you I'm gonna leave old buddy out of this.
How does someone watch 5.5 minutes of this? I know this isn't like the topic of this video. We're looking at the Talk Tuah podcast. But I just had to show this video at the start because I didn't think people out there actually thought Hot Tuah was this funny. So yeah, episode Tuah of the Hot Tuah podcast just dropped. You get episode Tuah. Like Hot Tuah, Tawk Tuah spit on that thing. And to say I was excited for this is really underselling it. I got asked by friends yesterday what my plans were and like if I wanted to do something, and I said, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm watching the Talk Tuah podcast, so I can't do anything." And that's true. As sad as it is, I'm not making that up. Now, since I made my video about the first episode of Talk Tuah, I've been exposed to a whole new world. I didn't really know too much about Haley Welch and the meme itself, but I somehow stumbled upon the most bizarre musical creation, the Hot Tuah freestyle.
If she don't Hot Tuah, I don't talk to her. I'm a box muncher and a twat to her.
Wow. It really is amazing how beautiful words can be sometimes. So
yes.
Talk Tuah episode Tuah came out yesterday, and honestly, I was very disappointed. It's only half an hour long. Can that even be considered a podcast episode? That's bare.
Half an hour? Oh, Memeulous, you poor man. But yeah, this thing is just getting milked so hard. It's getting milked so hard. Like, there she is right there. Just like, if Hot Tuah was a cow, then of course she's constantly milking the cow. She's getting all the milk out of it. You know, milk is coming out. You know, when it was getting popular. But now she's just constantly keep on milking the cow. And the cow's like, just let me die already. Please, I can't take any more milking.
Barely long enough to eat my dinner to. The wheels are really falling off the wagon here, and we're only on episode 2. I was hoping this would at least be an hour long, so I could be serenaded off to sleep by the sweet sounds of Hot Tuah impressions and the recounting of tales relating to the Hot Tuah joke. Which is still funny, by the way, all these months later. And if you think otherwise, you just don't understand comedy. Like, look at this, look at this. Look, it's Angry Birds if it was Hot Tuah.
Oh, wow!
Isn't that just the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life? The first episode of the podcast was, shit.
Hot Tuah.
You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like really. Yeah. Say it. All right, all together.
Hot Tuah.
Hot tuh.
So let's hope episode 2 gets better. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. It might.
What are the chances, right, that in this episode, she also does the Hot Tuah again? What are the chances? I'm gonna say 100%. I mean, it's got to be mentioned somewhere. You know, otherwise people will think, oh, it's just a regular podcast. When she does it, you know, they'll be like, oh, now I know what you're known for now. Because you did it, you did the thing. So, yeah. But yeah, 100% it's going to be, you know, she's going to do it. Just watch, man. Watch. I can already tell.
Might even be worse.
This is our little friend group right here. This is CQBO.
We can't tell you what that means.
Nobody knows. No, you will never know what it means.
Ah! Just tell me! I need to know! I guess this is
Please!
just sort of
I'm
what you get
begging!
in for when you click on an episode of Talk to various secrets and mysteries that you have to work out for yourself or figure out by continuing to watch. It's a very clever tactic to get someone to watch your podcast, really.
What does it mean?
It's top secret.
I will die before I tell you what it
We
means.
told you we'd have to kill you.
There's one person we went to high school with who just happened to guess what it was. If you're watching this, keep your mouth
I
shut.
love how they bleep the person's name for some reason, as if anyone actually cares enough to, like, track them down and ask them what this means.
Well, Memeulous, we have to do this because it could just be the secret to life itself. You know, we don't know. It could be something completely amazing. We need to know these things, right? So that's just what we're going to have to do to find out. Because I am so curious right now. I need... Oh, I'm upset. I'm already upset.
It happens.
Okay.
We were all there. From your perspective.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh boy, I wonder what story they're going to recount. It can't possibly be the only thing of note surrounding this podcast. I'm sorry, okay, I feel mean. Like, they're doing nothing wrong. They all seem nice enough, but this podcast is just immensely pointless and dull. Like, the parable of Huck Tuah isn't exactly going to be interesting, and that's all this podcast really has been so far.
I feel like we tell the story differently. Yeah, we definitely do. You like to add details in there, and I'm like, that didn't happen. Maybe it did. I don't know. I was also.
I know you're
not
trying to
in
get
the
away
right
from
mind.
there too, though.
Yeah.
While I was standing there holding my own.
Okay, so we were all there. You were there,
I was there.
except you weren't there.
I weren't with, I wasn't with y'all.
Okay, we're all at the CMA Fest. We all went together, right?
But we
You-
sat together.
Yeah, we all sat together.
Wow!
Wait a minute. Hold up. But yeah, this is what I find really awkward, right? When it comes to podcasts. When you have, like, a friend group, I understand, you know, bringing on your friend group so you have more to talk about. And, of course, I understand you're more comfortable talking with them. But the thing is, right, it's not going to be the same. Even when you're talking to your mates or whatever, when it comes to being on podcasts. Because I feel that behind the scenes, a lot of friend groups say a lot of shit. Like, a lot of things get thrown out there and they just have, like, a laugh, you know, a lot of laughs among themselves and, you know. But I feel when friend groups go on podcast, it seems quite tame, which I understand, I get it, because you're having the conversation in front of an audience and you're trying to be, like, a bit cautious with what you talk about. But I don't know, it's just, to me it's always seemed awkward, especially when people have friends on. Like, it's got to be a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So, just wanted to point that out there.
Sat together? Oh, thanks for letting me know. Your storytelling abilities are phenomenal. You were
Oh,
born
yeah.
to be podcast co-host.
Magical.
I feel mean again. This is just so podcast. Like, there's just nothing being said here. And this is a high-budget podcast. They got a big budget. Like, you find with some of the higher-budget podcasts, because they have the budget to hire things like producers and stuff like that, they can typically flow a lot better than someone who is just basically starting out doing a podcast. But this is just like as if anyone started a podcast from scratch.
The thing is as well, right? When you get someone who... I think I've said this in the last episode. When someone becomes, like, you know, just internet famous from a meme, of course, you know, one of the things they would go to is, oh, I'm going to do a podcast because, like, there's not enough of them these days. So, yeah, let's do a podcast. But this is why podcasts like these don't interest me. Like I said, I already say I don't watch podcasts because they're usually too long and, you know, my attention span is not that great. You know, it's sort of like mid-level. And the only thing that interests me about podcasts is when, like, something, like, really outrageous or hilarious happens and there's, like, clips and stuff. But, I don't know, nothing against these women right here. They just seem like, you know, just normal. Like, there's nothing interesting really going on, or there's nothing to really talk about that much. So, yeah. But, you know, fair on them if they just want to, like, you know, just do this and just talk amongst one another about things that's happened in the past, or just, what their plans are, you know, etc., etc. But I don't know, it's just, when it comes to a podcast, I always just feel that it's got to be interesting. It's got to be what makes it, something that makes you stand out, because the competition is quite fierce and there's so many of them these days. But yeah, I just don't see anything interesting right here. Just saying, really.
Me after, and I remember I got in the car.
Like I said, nothing against them. Don't hate them. Don't dislike them. I'm just saying what I feel.
And you said, we messed up. I said, why? You said, we did a street interview. And I said, what did y'all say? And you were like, I don't even know what we said.
I don't. Yeah, I was.
But we were all like, oh.
Yeah,
The issue with making a video on something like this is there is so little to talk about, because none of the conversation is of any note. With the first episode, there was at least someone experienced carrying the conversation, so it sort of went somewhere. Still not anywhere remotely interesting, because this is the Talk Tuah podcast after all. There is kind of a ceiling to how interesting it can be. But it was probably enough to consider it a passable episode of a podcast for something based off a 2-word joke told like 3 months prior. This episode, however, has absolutely nothing of merit at all. It is just 4 friends having a conversation and not telling stories very well. There's then a portion of the podcast where Hayley talks about how her relatives reacted to her being a viral sensation for what is essentially a blowjob joke.
When I told her, I had to explain it to her like 3 times, and she was like, I don't get it. And I was like, Granny, listen to what I'm saying to you. I was like, spit on it. And she's like,
oh my god, she had to explain this to her grandmother. Oh, I couldn't imagine doing that. It'd be like, you know, if she said to the granny, like, well, Granny, it's just like, you know, spit on that thing, if you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I see what you're getting at, yes, you mean, to lubricate something, you know, to try and get it loose. Well, not exactly, grandmother, it's sort of like, you know, you are lubricating something, but it's for, a different reason. Oh, what might that be? I'm talking about sucking dick, Grandma. You know? Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Sucking dick. So. Remember, Grandma. That's my advice to you, you know? You've always given me life lessons and, you know, advice. But here's my big advice to you. Spit on that thing. Spit on it and never stop, Grandma. Never stop. What the fuck am I doing now? I'm just going along with this. But yeah, I bet that was an awkward conversation. Probably not as awkward as that, but, you know, I like to go over the top sometimes.
oh.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Tuah, spit on that fang.
Yeah.
Meaning someone's willy.
I don't know who
I did that. I would love it if her grandmother just said, oh, I've done that many times to your grandpappy. Oh, Grandma, too much information. Well, you wanted it. You got it.
You have Granny over here just spit on it. Hot Tuah.
She said it!
She did it! Didn't I say? I deserve a round of applause. Come on. Everyone behind the screen, round of applause. I predicted it. A very difficult prediction. Alright? And you know it to be true. So, but yeah, of course, she fucking did it. You know? Predictable.
She said the thing!
I know!
Hot Tuah!
Well, she doesn't even say hot Tuah, she's hot Tuah.
Ah! Now that is a fascinating twist in the tale. So it's actually Hok Tuah, but her grandmother says Hok Tui. Fascinating.
Nobody thinks what I think. Stop what you're doing right now. I'm serious. Whatever app you have open right now, close it. Whatever.
Excuse me. I can't stop what I'm doing right now because I'm Hok Tuing at the moment. Right? So I appreciate that you don't interrupt me while I'm doing it. Alright? But still. Do you know what's really like, I know it sounds pretty weird and random, but the granny saying Hok Tui, it sounds better and quite adorable. I don't know why I'm saying it's adorable. But it's like, oh, Hok Tui. Oh, how lovely, Grandma, and gross. Yeah. But still, man. The fuck?
Ever text your reading, shut that down. Trust me, I'm doing this for you. Now take your finger and head over to the App Store and download Better.
Oh yeah, you were sending a message to a loved one or something stupid and cringe like that. Shut that shit down. Go be productive and download Jake Paul's fucking betting app. She's doing this for you. She's doing this for your benefit, not hers and Jake Paul's. She's doing this for you. Did you not know there is just free money out there?
I know.
That Jake Paul and Hayley Welch are just giving away. Like, these guys are so generous. Not only do they make a phenomenal podcast, they also just give away free money. Oh, it's so nice.
Oh, so generous.
She goes, trust me, I'm doing this for you. Come on. You are not doing this for the audience. You're not getting them hooked on gambling for their own benefit. Come on, be real. Like, being honest, I'm not that arsed if you want to promote a betting site or whatever. But don't sit there and go, no, yeah, this is for your benefit. Just say what it is.
The thing is, right, she's saying this for your benefit, right? What if, you know, she's saying that to someone who has a gambling addiction? It's for your benefit. Keep gambling. Well, the Hawk Tuah girl said it's for my benefit, so I should just keep throwing my money away. You know. Oh, it's for my benefit. I didn't know that. I didn't know I needed, like, a lot of gambling in my life, so... You know, now I know, so... Say goodbye to all my money.
It is not for anyone's benefit. You will most likely lose money if you sign up to it.
Better Picks is the most easy and fun daily fantasy app where you can win up to 1,000 times your money. And new users, you'll get up to $200 as a deposit match.
Why are there so many cuts? Can she only memorize like 4 words at a time? To be honest, I'm not one to talk. Whenever I have to read something for like an ab read or whatever, I could just cheat because I wear sunglasses and just like look down to the script.
Tell your friends to sign up and how you could turn $1 into 1,000.
Yeah, rope your friends in on your gambling addiction as well. Oh, actually, no, not gambling addiction, investing and hustling addiction. It's like the old saying, you gotta spend money to make money. And with this, it's like having a magic machine where if you put $1 in, you get 1,000. She really is the same for promoting such a wonderful service. And it has no downsides at all. Remember, she's doing this for you. She's doing this for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's no risks involved at all. You know? But I will say to you guys, you know, remember, you know, when it comes to gambling, just be smart about it. You know, be responsible. Just don't get roped into, like, you know, just keep, you know, throwing your money at these gambling sites and everything. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it, you know. There is a lot of risk involved. But like I said, just be smart with it. It's as simple as that, you know. I just wanted to put that out there. Even though people probably know.
Such a selfless act.
Harley.
I know.
When Harley comes out, there's no
better
getting. You can talk to her, but she's not all there.
You gotta explain what Harley is.
Harley is your alter ego that...
When I drink dark liquor, that is Harley.
Yeah. Once Harley comes out, there's no going back until Harley is...
Done. Put down.
So you're telling me Hayley Welch, aka Hawk Tuah girl, has a dark side to her? She's got like a Joker in her, like I do. Whenever I drink too much Doom Bar at Weatherspoons, I start to go crazy, burning napkins in the corner and talking about the pyramids and Stonehenge. I assume Hayley, or Harley even, does a similar thing.
Let's talk about the time Hayley punched her ex in the face.
I actually smacked
It was
him
not
in the
like a
face.
smack. It was like a hard whack.
What?
I don't know if he was joking or not. You can't joke around with me too much because I'm like really hot-headed and I take it a little too far. He bumps into me and spills Dr. Pepper all down me. I had a reflex and I reared back and I 5-starred him right in his face and it got so quiet.
I maybe take back when I said she seemed nice enough. This isn't the second episode of the podcast, mind, and she's already admitting to hitting her ex over accidentally spilling a drink on her. That's a crazy speed run. Well, I'm actually a bit stunned because most of this podcast is absolute drivel, but when I heard this...
So yeah, see, it's confirmed, you know? It's confirmed. She's not as nice as you think she is, guys. You know, the mask is already slipping. I bet you cursed the day he wasn't very careful with that Dr. Pepper. Yeah, he cursed it. Because he knew what he got. He knew. His face was red raw after what I did. But yeah, that's just like, you know, just a bit wild to put out there, like. Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I did. I thought it was going to go the way, right, of the reason she gave her ex a whack is because, like, oh, she found out he cheated or something, or I don't know, something bad. But, yeah, that was it, because he accidentally spilled Dr. Pepper down her shirt. Oh, I mean, if that gets her angry, I don't want to know what else would get her angry, bloody hell. There's probably a lot of things that get her angry, you know? She has a Not really like a Joker, like Memeulous said, but more like a Harley Quinn about her. You know, she has that sort of dark side. Yep, crazy. But what else can I say, man? What else can I say at this point? I mean, I'm just trying to make shit up at this point. Just to try and make it interesting. And I bet, obviously, Memeulous was doing the same because this podcast, like, I mean, there's a few times in this video right now, like, I did zone out a bit when they were talking.
I had to rewind to make sure I heard that right, and it wasn't something my brain made up while I was in a trance. That's a mental thing to just admit on the second episode of your podcast. Well, that's pretty much episode 2 of Talk Tuah. There's really nothing else to talk about. It's just half an hour of recorded idle conversation. And that's the thing, it's only half an hour. And the last 3 minutes is her sat in the car. So that's not really part of the podcast, I guess. But it feels so much longer because there's just not much being said at all. And what is being said isn't being said very well. Like, the conversations aren't engaging at all. As I say, it just feels like 4 friends sat around having an idle conversation. I know I'm over-analysing the fucking Talk Tuah podcast, okay? But it is shit. The first episode was phenomenal in comparison to this. It's like they're phoning it in already on the second episode. I fear Talk Tuah may be falling off, and it's a shame because it was my favourite podcast. I've spent the last week going round and recommending it to my friends and family and anyone that would listen. And I've made to look a fool because this episode sucks. I made them all subscribe to that thing, and you post this? I'm upset beyond belief. I need to work on earning the people around me's trust back, so like and subscribe to this thing, this channel. Do it. Not that one, she disappointed me. This channel. Subscribe to that thing.
So there we go, that was the Talk Tuah podcast, and like I said, my opinion is it's just nothing special. So yeah, that's all I can say about it really. She's just trying to continue to ride the wave off of like the whole hot Tuah meme, and yeah, she's just having a conversation with her friends, and there's nothing really that interesting, you know? I mean, if I was someone who enjoyed podcasts, this wouldn't be on anywhere near top of my list. I think Memeulous has got to be grateful for small mercies, you know? The fact that it was half an hour, not longer. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, the original video will be down below. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. And I shall see all of you in the next one. Have a great day. And I'm out. And I'm peace. Yeah.